Welcome to Midnight Story. Take a slow breath in. And let it fall out gently. There is no rush tonight. No need to hold on to the day. Just listen. It was late. The kind of late where the world feels unfinished. As if the day forgot to turn itself off. And somewhere, far from attention, a phone was lifted. With trembling hands. The year was 1978. Before cell phones. Before digital records. Before calls were saved forever in clouds and servers. Back then, a phone call existed only while it was happening. When it ended, it vanished, unless someone remembered it. And this one, almost no one did. The woman held the receiver tightly. Her knuckles pale, her breath shallow. She had rehearsed the number in her mind so many times that her lips moved before the sound came out. 911. Each digit felt heavier than the last. The phone rang. Once. Twice. Somewhere, miles away, a system was supposed to answer. A dispatcher. A voice trained to stay calm. A lifeline. But on that night, something quietly failed. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just enough. The woman spoke anyway. Her voice was soft at first. Almost apologetic. Hello. Need help. The line crackled. A faint hum responded. No voice. No greeting. She swallowed. There's someone outside, she whispered. I don't think he knows I can see him. Her eyes flicked toward the window. The curtains were half open. She had forgotten to close them earlier. When the light still felt safe. Now the darkness pressed close to the glass. I don't want to make trouble, she continued. As if someone were listening. As soon as you can. Silence. The phone line breathed back at her. Empty and patient. She waited. Seconds passed. Then a minute. Her grip tightened. Hello, she said again. A little louder now. Please, I can hear footsteps. Still nothing. Across town, the police station was quiet. A few officers filled out paperwork. Coffee cooled in forgotten mugs. A radio murmured softly. No alarm sounded. No call appeared. Because the call never reached them. The system had logged a ring. And nothing else. A misrouted wire. A relay that hesitated for half a second too long. A moment that slipped through the cracks of technology. And fell into silence. The woman did not know this. She believed help was listening. And belief can be a powerful thing. She described the house. The back door is old, she said quietly. It sticks when you open it. Her voice shook now, but she tried to steady it. I locked it anyway. She paused. I think he's checking the windows. Her heart beat so loudly she was sure it could be heard. Through the walls. Through the phone. Outside, the night shifted. A branch brushed against the siding. Or maybe it was something else. She moved away from the window. Bare feet cold against the floor. I'm in the kitchen, she whispered. There's a light on. I know that was stupid. The hum on the line remained unchanged. No reassurance. No instructions. No calm voice telling her to breathe. Just emptiness. She filled it with words. Words have a way of keeping fear at bay. As long as you're talking. You're not alone. My name is Margaret, she said softly. I live alone. My husband passed last winter. She stopped herself. I'm sorry. That's not important. Her hand trembled so badly she had to switch the receiver. To the other ear, the footsteps outside stopped. For a moment, everything was still. Even the hum seemed quieter. Margaret held her breath. And then, a sound at the door. Not a bang. Not a crash. Just the careful test of a handle. The old lock held. Barely. Her knees weakened and she lowered herself into a chair. The wood creaking beneath her weight. Someone is trying the door, she whispered urgently. Please tell me what to do. She waited. Nothing. In another world. Another version of that night. A dispatcher would have answered. Would have said her name. Would have told her officers were on the way. But history is not made of what should have happened. It is made of what did. Margaret pressed the receiver closer. I can stay quiet, she said. As if asking permission. I can turn off the lights. She paused again. I don't want him to know I'm here. The irony sat heavy in the air. Because she was not being heard. The lock rattled once more. Harder this time. Her breath came faster. She stood, moving slowly toward the hallway. The phone cord stretched behind her like a lifeline. I'm going to hide, she whispered. I'll stay on the line. The hum continued. Unbroken. Unchanged. She reached the bedroom, slipped inside, and gently closed the door. The room smelled faintly of lavender. She had sprayed it earlier. Trying to sleep. Sleep felt like another lifetime now. She sat on the edge of the bed. Phone pressed to her ear. Eyes fixed on the door. Minutes passed. Then, a sound inside the house. Not loud. Deliberate. A footstep on wood. Her chest tightened. He's inside, she breathed. He got in. Tears welled in her eyes. But her voice stayed low. I did everything right, she said quietly. As if explaining herself to the universe. The footsteps moved slowly. Room to room. Drawers opened. Closed. A pause. Then closer. Margaret slid down beside the bed. Curling into herself. One hand clamped over her mouth. The phone remained at her ear. Still humming. Still empty. In the police station, a clock ticked toward midnight. No one knew. And that is often how history hides. Not in what is seen, but in what is missed. The footsteps stopped outside her door. A shadow passed beneath the crack. Margaret's heart felt as though it might tear itself free. She whispered one final time into the phone. Her voice barely a breath. If anyone can hear this, please. Her words dissolved into silence. The line remained open, and then, it went dead. It wasn't the quiet of night. It was heavier than that. As if the air itself had stopped listening. Margaret stayed where she was. Curled beside the bed, the phone still pressed to her ear even though she knew. Somewhere deep inside, that it no longer mattered. She did not scream. She did not move. People often imagine fear as something loud. But real fear is very quiet. It makes you small. It asks you to disappear. The footsteps moved again. Slow. Unhurried. Whoever was inside the house had no reason to rush. No sirens were coming. No voices crackled through radios. Just an old house. An unlocked moment. And time stretching thin. Margaret squeezed her eyes shut and thought of ordinary things. The way sunlight used to fall across the kitchen table in the mornings. The sound of her husband humming without realizing it. The neighbor's dog that barked at nothing every evening at 6. Ordinary things are anchors. They keep the mind from drifting too far into the dark. The doorknob turned. Once. Stopped. Turned again. The bedroom door opened with a slow creak. As if the house itself were reluctant to give her away. She did not look up. She listened to the sound of breathing that was not her own. It hovered in the doorway. Uncertain. Curious. Then it moved closer. Margaret pressed her forehead to the carpet. Feeling the rough fibers against her skin. She whispered not into the phone now, but into the space around her. I'm here. It was not a plea. It was an acknowledgement. What happened next was never officially recorded. No report captured the exact sequence of sounds, or movements, or decisions made in that room, because no one arrived in time to document it. And yet, morning came. It always does. Sunlight filtered through the curtains. Unaware of what the night had held. Birds resumed their routines. Cars started. Coffee brewed. The world continued, as it always does, unapologetically forward. Margaret's house sat quietly at the end of the street, looking no different than it had the day before. A neighbor noticed the front door ajar around mid-morning. At first, they thought nothing of it. Margaret sometimes forgot to lock it during the day. But hours passed. No movement. No familiar silhouette in the window. By afternoon, curiosity became concern. A knock went unanswered. Then another. Finally, the neighbor stepped inside. And felt the wrongness immediately. That subtle, instinctive chill. That tells you something has shifted in a place. Police were called. This time, the call went through. Officers arrived. Slowly at first, then all at once. The house told its story in fragments. A broken lock. Footprints near the back entrance. A phone off the hook in the bedroom. Its cord stretched across the floor. Margaret was found alive, shaken, injured, but breathing, clinging to consciousness like someone holding the edge of a pool. She could not speak much at first. Shock wrapped her words in cotton. When she did finally talk, her voice was thin and distant. I called, she kept saying. I called for help. The officers exchanged glances. No record existed. No dispatcher remembered her voice. No tape captured her fear. According to the system, the call had never happened. At the station, technicians examined the phone records. They found something strange. At 11:47 p.m., a call had been placed to emergency services. It rang, and then vanished. No connection, no voice. Just an incomplete signal. A ghost of a call. A fault in the routing equipment. A failure so small it had gone unnoticed for years. Until now. Margaret stayed in the hospital for several days. People visited, asked gentle questions. She answered what she could. But some things remained locked inside her. Kept behind doors she never opened again. At night, she dreamed of the hum on the phone line. That empty sound. That promise without fulfillment. After her recovery, she moved away. Sold the house. Chose a small apartment closer to people. To lights. To noise. She never lived alone again. Years passed. Technology improved. Systems were updated. Redundancies added. Fail-safes installed. The flaw that swallowed her call was corrected quietly. Without ceremony. No headlines announced it. No apology was issued. Because officially, nothing had gone wrong. Margaret lived the rest of her life simply. She gardened. She volunteered. She slept with a lamp on beside her bed. Sometimes, when she held a phone, she paused before dialing, as if remembering something just out of reach. She never trusted silence again. And somewhere, deep in the archived logs of an old system, there remains a timestamp, a ring without a voice, a call without a listener, a reminder that history is not only shaped by what is heard, but by what is missed. Now, as you rest here, safe, listening, take a slow breath in. If you are new my channel, please subscribe and press bell icon. And let it go. The night around you is quiet, but it is not empty. You are heard. You are not alone. And the story can finally sleep.